It starts quietly, so quietly that no one even notices. You're 7 years old, staring into the eyes of a parent who is falling apart. Maybe it's addiction, maybe it's rage, maybe it's the kind of silence that feels like a locked door. And without a single word spoken, something ancient clicks inside your small, developing mind. If I don't hold everything together, no one will. This is how a child disappears. Not physically, but emotionally, psychologically. They smile more. They cry less. They learn to read the room before making a sound. They become the emotional thermostat of the household, a tiny adult trapped in a tiny body. And the world applauds them for it. You're so responsible. You're so mature. You're so strong. But nobody ever asks at what cost. This is the invisible grief of growing up too fast. And the effects don't fade with age. They follow you into love, into work, into your relationship with yourself. Because when a child is forced to support the adults instead of being supported by them, psychologists call this parentification. It's when you become the caregiver, the protector, the therapist instead of the child. And it doesn't just hurt, it rewires your brain. You become hyper-vigilant, always scanning for danger, always prepared for the next explosion. Love becomes a transaction. If I give peace, maybe I'll receive safety. Your needs become threats, so you erase them. You vanish from your own life and replace yourself with a performer. The good child, the quiet achiever, the friend who fixes everyone's problems. A mask so convincing, even you forget it's a mask. But deep inside, something aches, something hurts, because the child you abandoned for survival, they never died. They're still in there, whispering, "Why didn't anyone protect me?" And as you grow, the symptoms evolve. You become hyper-independent. You refuse help. You don't trust happiness. It feels suspicious. You only feel worthy when you're productive. You stay stuck in survival mode long after the danger is gone. Peace feels like a trap. Rest feels like laziness. Love feels like a debt. This is not just trauma. It's a whole identity built on fear. Because children will do anything to keep attachment, even if it means abandoning themselves. That's not weakness. That's brilliance. That's biology. But here's the tragedy. What once saved you now cages you. We grow up into adults who never feel safe, even in calm rooms, who apologize for having emotions, who flinch at kindness, and confuse exhaustion with achievement. We become caregivers who desperately wish someone, just once, would ask, "Are you okay?" And we fantasize that maybe someday someone will see through our strength and let us fall apart. That fantasy doesn't belong to your adult self. It belongs to the child who never got to be one. So what's the first step to healing? Not fixing, not pretending, witnessing, acknowledging what actually happened instead of gaslighting yourself. It wasn't that bad. Others had it worse. I turned out fine. Fine is a mask too, because behind your strength there is grief. And grief means the story isn't over. Adults who grew up too fast become lovers who can't trust softness, friends who overgive but never receive, people who think saying no is betrayal, achievers who don't know how to rest. These aren't personality traits, they're survival strategies, learned, conditioned, and, good news, unlearnable. The turning point begins when you ask your inner child, what did you need that you never got? Love without conditions, safety without performance, a chance to play, to rest, to just be. Slowly, you start giving those things to yourself, not to erase the past, but to stop repeating it. This is how you stop finding parents in your partners. This is how you stop mistaking anxiety for intuition. This is how you stop running and start returning. Carl Jung said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." Healing requires courage to feel the emotions you swallowed just to survive. The birthdays no one celebrated, the tears no one cared about, the innocence you traded for safety. That pain isn't a setback, it's a breakthrough, because what was frozen is finally thawing. If you were forced to be strong, strength is not your identity. It was your armor, and armor gets heavy. So hear this. Your maturity was never the problem. The problem was that you never had a choice, but now you do. You can choose softness, you can choose safety, you can choose yourself. And yes, there will be days you feel like a child again. Good. That child is finally coming home. Let them cry, let them laugh, let them rest, because you are not broken. You are becoming whole. You didn't get to write your childhood, but your future, that pen is finally in your hands.